God bless everyone, and thank you once again for tuning in here with Ministry Gospel Musician. I want to give you an opportunity to begin to share. We are now, of course, on YouTube, and we are also through the social media and Instagram, Ministry Gospel Musicians. You can find us at our webpage is ministrygospelmusicians.weebly.com. There you will have more information and more access to this ministry and what we're doing, and links to the YouTube channel, links to the Instagram page, and our email, which is ministrygospelmusicians@gmail.com. My name is Richie Nava, and I'm the founder of Ministry Gospel Musicians. So let's dive in right to the video. So this purpose of this video is basically I'm going to be talking about my music background testimony. I'll be sharing some pictures with you guys that you enjoy since I started. And I'm only 19 and a half years old. I'm about to be 20 in December. But till then, God has done great things, and I would like to share with you that and just about me a little bit and where the ministry comes from. But since then, God has done wonderful things, and I know He will continue to do great things as we continue to walk with the Father. So hope this is a blessing to you. So I was born in Long Beach, in California, and I grew up in the LA County. And we had the opportunity here with my pastor and our brother Jaime, who's helping me out with the recordings. We were able to have here the church I grew up in, and the opportunity to do the recording here live. And here's where I grew up, here where I was born, pretty much when I was a kid, and where I was born here. I used to sleep under the benches, and now I sleep on top of them. And here's where I was taught, here's where I was doctrined, here's what I was growing spiritually, here's my house, this is my home, here till this day. Every time I come in LA, here's where I'm at, and I want to thank them for this opportunity. And I would get in trouble, just like any other kid, mess around in church, sleeping during the service. But it's a blessing to be able to be here and do this recording. And one thing that I want you guys to know is that before I was a musician, I was a preacher. I was an evangelist, and I still am. Preaching with my father, something that my father was an evangelist, and so growing up he wanted me to do the same. So there would be certain days as I was growing up, certain days, and as I was growing up in the years, he would take us out to the streets and preach the gospel and just share flyers, tracts to people who would come by, and my dad was the one speaking. And there would be certain days where my dad would challenge us and he'd tell us, who's next? Who wants to do this? And I'm like, man, I don't think I'm ready for that yet. So the time came, when I grew up, I started growing up a little bit more. That time came where I approached that. I decided, you know what, Dad, I'll do it this time. And I think I was the first one, because I have a brother and my sister. My sister never did it. My brother did. I think he did after me. I don't know if you know, but I decided to just take that challenge, and I shared, I think it was 10 minutes, 15 minutes. At the beginning, I was just, very timid, shy. But as soon as it took like some cars that they take time to warm up, but as soon as they warm up, man, they're good to go. So pretty much that's where I began. And when I would come from school, my dad was very disciplined, very strict with us, and he always wanted us to. When we would come from school, he always took it directly to the Word, directly to the Bible, and he would make us memorize Bible verses. And we were not allowed to hang out with friends. We were not allowed to do any sort of activities, anything, until we learned that Bible verse. So that's the way I grew up in. And so I started like that. I didn't get into the music until my dad decided for us to join the choir, the children's choir at church. Here where we are recording at Rock of Salvation. If you ever come here, it's Parson, by the way. But back to what we were saying, he decided for me, my brother, and my two sisters, to join the choir of the church, and that's where I began musically. I started off with music, with singing. Sorry, and that's where I began, and then it got to a couple years. We've been here a couple years in the choir. I got out around 11 years old, 12 years old, and my brother in that time started going to classes, taking lessons at church. They were giving out classes, music classes to students. Drums, I think drums was one of them, guitar, piano, and bass. So he started going for drums because I would see him with the drumsticks, and I would tell my dad, hey, where's he going? You know, where are you going to see him? They would tell me, no, he's going to church because church is offering classes. So from there on, I started little by little, just finding out more about the instrument. And so I told my brother, hey, I want to go. I want to learn too. I want to learn how to play drums just like you. So my brother also had an influence on me on that music. So around 9 years old is when I began to follow him, and he took me. But he changed. He's like, here's my drumsticks. I don't want to play drums. I think I'm going to play the guitar. So he changed, and then I went to drums. But my dad always had a big influence on my life. Like, he wanted me just to be like him, an evangelist. But he also wanted me, after 4 years, he wanted me to learn the piano. So he bought me one of those pianos. Not like the piano we didn't have here at church, like no teeth. But I started off very humble beginnings. And so he bought me a piano, regular, I think 50 keys, 51 keys, and very basic. And that's where I started, and I would go to the church, and I still go and meet up with those guys and those teachers that mentored me, that taught me not only the music, but also taught me the word and what it is to play music to God, what it is to be out here in the altar, and all that, and that really helped me. To this day, it has stayed with me, and as I continue to grow in the ways of the Father. So I started, they started teaching me my skills, my majors, my minors. Until this one time where I was playing, and we were in the little side of the church. There were like little classes where the kids would go and the youth. But in the church, my bad, there was a drum set, and so one day I was just playing. All of a sudden, man, I hear a drummer just killing the drums. And he was just beating on these drums, and I stopped playing. What is that? Like, it sounds good. And so from there, I asked, hey, is it fine that instead of me playing piano, can I switch to drums? And he said, yeah, it's fine. You're just beginning, so I'm glad he told me now. So I moved to drums. From there on, I was very passionate about drums, and a brother from church, he found out that I was learning drums, and he gave me a drum set. It was not a complete drum set. It was, I think, only the bass and the tom and the floor, first tom and the fourth tom, and that's it. And that was all. And I think it was the snare. And that's it. No hi-hat, no cymbals. And I was just, every day after school, I was just there practicing those with that snare, with that floor tom, and that was it. And I went to my dad, man, we need to take me to buy the hi-hat. I need to have this thing complete. It's not the same, And so my brother around that time decided to make a group aside from the church band, and we just started gathering some of his friends that were interested in being in that group. So he had everyone except the bass, except the drummer. So I was like, hey, let me play drums, I like to play drums. And then we said, okay, just let me talk to my dad. Let's talk to my dad again and see if he can help me out with getting that hi-hat. And so we went to Guitar Center, we went to the music store, and we started investigating the drums, man. As you guys know, they're pretty expensive. And a little bit years ago back, we were maybe that flexible, and now, we can do payments and stuff. So my dad was like, you know what, I think it's better for us to buy a brand new drum set instead of buying each part individually, because the hi-hat by itself and the cymbals and everything that I needed, the stand is expensive, so we kept looking. I was really praying about it. God, you need to please provide this stuff like that, and need money to get it. And so I ended up, a brother from church ended up telling me because he found out that I was looking for drum set. He said, you know, there's this website, and they sell just a lot of things, and you should look into that. So I was looking into that, and I found a Yamaha drum set, custom stage. So I was like, wow, this is great. And then I called them up and I said, hey, you know what, I'm looking for a drum set. If you're interested, how low can you bring this price? And he said, you know what, my son, we got it for his graduation, and he only plays it like very few times, and he doesn't want it anymore. He's not into all the stuff. And so we went and we picked it up, and from there I started with the drums. You know, very passionate, and so from there on I started playing, not from church. Church that's separate, but it's very, very amazing what happened. And so as a kid, I wanted to, the musicians started to find out, church musicians started to find out, the worship leader, that I was getting involved with the drums and stuff. So I would go up in front of the church right here in this spot, and I would just be there. I would just pray, and I would just be there just in case if the official drummer of the church didn't show up. Man, I would pray that I'll get the opportunity to play. So there was certain times where he wouldn't show up, and then those days were just a blessing just to cover for him that day, that service. And there would be certain, all the time I remember I would show up and ask God that he could show up late, that he could miss the service so I could play. And there would be certain times where they start praying, they start just the service ready, and then he wouldn't show up, so I would look back and it's, oh, you know, he's not here yet. This might be my chance. This might be my opportunity. And there would be some few days that would happen. And all of a sudden, in certain days, right when the worship is about to start, man, he would just show up. I was like, man. But anyways, God showed me a lot. And well, me being on that bench, he showed me that I should be a worshiper with the instrument and without the instrument. And that's what a lot of things we have nowadays with musicians. We feel that we own the seat, so we feel that it's just us, you know. We don't want to give opportunity to younger musicians, you know, because we feel that playing the instrument is all, you know. But without it, it should still be giving God the glory. So I was able to learn that, and the worship leader said, you know, buy a kelbo. We have it in the back. We have it in the library. Get the kelbo. I got a kelbo, and I was just there in the service, just keeping the tempo. That was my first instrument, keeping the tempo. Ping, 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 ping. Every service, man. I don't know if the musicians got annoyed, but I was just there, ping, 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 keeping the tempo. It was like ping, ping, ping. You know, for the shower and everything like that. Worship, even for the worship song, it was just lightly. Thing. And man, that's where it started. Later on, I came up here with these congas, and then little by little on the drums just to cover. I was just a sub, and from there on, you know, the worship leader, aside from the band in church, he made I'll show those pictures, we'll edit those pictures so you can see. He decided to get a group of young folks in the church who wanted to play blues and musically inclined, who wanted to be part of the church band and stuff. So he decided to make such a group. We were about 15, 16, you know, and as we performed, more musicians from church wanted to learn, wanted to be part of the group, and it was just an amazing experience. And then from there, God allowed me to be the official drummer of the band. So I felt good. I felt blessed, man. And so from there on, you know, we started performing at the church events, at pastors' banquets, and little by little, churches started opening up. Hey, you know, they have research. Why don't you guys go? Do a special, do something. You know, so doors started opening up. And it's a big blessing. And from there on, you know, freshman year came, a lot of the people who were in the band started jobs, started school, and so I ended up moving to North California, and where I'm at right now in the sophomore year. I showed up to a new church. You know how that is. You know, you start from zero. You don't know no one. No one knows you play music. No one knows nothing about you. And I didn't say nothing. I was just, just show up. And leave. That's it. And from there on, little by little, people started noticing that music. And I started off back again to phones. And just there, and I was in sub-drum, and the drum at the church for a few months and stuff. And now I learned that as young musicians come up, to give them the opportunity, they can play. You know, I told them, hey man, you can play. So, you know, this is not mine. This is God. God wants you to be up here. And from there on, you know, senior year came. We're gonna jump to senior year. I know you guys got things to do. Yeah. But thank you for taking the time. So as senior year came, I started thinking, God, what am I going to do after senior year? After high school, that's it. You know, go to the real world, a new chapter of your life. And so I was really praying. I was asking God, I really want to work for you. I want to go to school, but I also want to work in the ministry. So that's where God gave me a vision to start a ministry. It's a ministry gospel musicians. So this ministry is just, musicians serve in church, music through church, in church. So this is calling musicians to go beyond their walls and to go and spread their musical talents, their gifts out to the world and reach souls, because we know that God moves greatly through the power of music. So from there on, we started gathering ideas, brainstorming, and God provided. We made events. We made our first event in 2017 on August. Can't remember the date. That was our first event, and we had 2 souls to Christ. 2 souls came back to the ways of the Almighty. It was just a blessing. And then this year, we had our second event. We had some crazy cats, crazy musicians come from New Jersey, from LA, the Bay Area. And that's the purpose of bringing musicians from different, not just one band, but bringing musicians that are musicians, one group, one band, from different churches, different nationalities, and anyone who wants to serve God through their music. And so that's where the MGM came from, And so far, we've been working, and I'm sorry that we haven't been posting for a while, but it's been in silent, but we've been working. We have projects coming up, guys. Just the opportunity, and I'll keep you guys in touch. And thank you for all those messages and all those coming in. I try to get to all of you as soon as I can. I'll get back to you. Yes, guys, just stay in touch with us. I hope this video was a blessing to you, and continue to move forward with the ways of the Father. I hope this was a blessing to you. Yes.